Yes.
Oh, it's just winging it.
No, we rarely wing it, Tony.
Baker said he wasn't supposed to be the trail guy. Was he messing with this, or was he really not supposed to be the trail guy?
Well, I guess the lead guy, basically, the way they played it, his job was to get it started, secure the end man line of scrimmage. When that disappeared, he kept going. So I'd say that part wasn't probably drawn up exactly like that.
Coming with the Odell decision, was it difficult last week, the uncertainty, not knowing, and he practiced and maybe somebody else will be getting more reps? Or?
Yeah, and that happens in the NFL. I mean, you practice guys, you have guys in different spots, and sometimes you make a decision close to game time, and that's just, it's the classic. It is what it is. It's he was pushing to get there, just didn't feel like he could play this significant number of snaps. So I just felt like for this week, the prudent thing to do was let's let these other guys get all those reps, although they got a bunch last week. Let's game plan accordingly, and then we'll update you guys as we get into next week.
Does this mean you would rather it not be a game time decision when you bring it back? You want to know, okay, Wednesday, we know he's going to play.
I think you'd want to know that for any player coming off of injury. I think every case is different. That was the plan last week, was very comfortable with that plan. I think all of our players were comfortable with that plan. I just feel like this week I'd like to do it this way and make the decision today.
To prevent it from being like a week-to-week thing where everybody's wondering.
Yeah.
Kevin, in the offseason, we talked to Andrew, and he had mentioned, about the narrative that you guys were fine without Odell. He said, no, when we lost Odell, we lost a dimension to our offense. But it was clear that he tried to address that this offseason. One of the guys he brought was Anthony Schwartz, and he really showed up Sunday. What can you say about how Anthony was able to, granted he's not Odell, but he still provided you with that element of speed?
Yeah, I think week to week we're gonna call on different guys in different situations, and I thought Anthony had his opportunities in the last game and did a nice job for his first game. I mean, that's not an easy place to go have your first NFL game, so he was dependable when we called on him.
I think it's fair to say you're not always very revealing with information.
Thank you.
So why the change today? Why just come out today and say, I'm not complaining, but why come out today and say, no?
Just that's how I want to handle it this week. I just want to, and I talked to Odell about it. This is, my decision, and felt like it was the right thing to do for this week.
Hey, Kevin, Baker said that when he came into the locker room on Sunday, he saw some heads hanging, some guys shaking their heads. He wanted that loss to sting, and he talked to the guys about that. But he also reminded them there's 16 more to go. Did you feel like that was needed as well to come from a team leader, and do you hope that resonates with the guys?
Yeah, I think it's a good message. It's very similar to what we talked about in the locker room post-game, and it's really the nature of the NFL. These games come at you every week, and you're facing a tough opponent every single week, and they all count the same. I mean, we have another big game this week against a conference opponent. So you need to lick your wounds and then right back on Monday get ready to prepare and do everything in your power to get ready for that Sunday's game.
What allows David to be such an effective downfield target, Baker?
Yeah, I think David, obviously the easy answer is just his size. I mean, Dave's a big player. He's got speed at that size where it allows him to create separation. But even if he doesn't create separation, I think with our tight ends, they can create vertical separation with how they can go get the ball.
When you have a tight end who can stretch the field like that, what does it do for the offense overall?
Yeah, I think I'd kind of tell you, Scott, we're trying to use everybody to their abilities. And Dave had a couple opportunities in this last game, and then we got to see how it shakes out over the course of this game and the week after that. But just want to really put guys in a position to succeed and use their skill set to help this team.
Baker was telling us, he's very hard on himself when it comes to those critical situations, end of game, fourth quarter. How much of your coaching, in reviewing the Kansas City game is focused on that, and how do you get him to the level where he is more consistent in those clutch moments?
Yeah, I think anytime you're in a 2-minute drill like that to go win the game, obviously we all want to come through. I want to come through for the team. It's not one person's mistake that you can say that caused the loss or anything like that. But we need to learn from those, and I think Baker is the type of player that he learns in those moments. He learns out here on the field, and he tries to bank those reps because we're going to be in another 2-minute drive, and maybe might be in this one, and you got to hopefully apply those lessons learned moving forward.
As far as capturing team's attention, particularly defense, 1-0 Texans, we understand, but the fact that they're like the opposite end of the spectrum offensively, totally different scheme, your defensive scheme will be totally different. Does that help you capture their attention this week?
Yeah, honestly, Tony, I think if you turn on the tape, it'll capture your attention. I think Tyrod Taylor is outstanding. He's led a team to the playoffs before. I think he processes really quickly. He can scramble and hurt you with his legs. He can scramble to throw. He's accurate. They play a physical brand of offense. They can run the ball downhill. They can take shots. They have speed on the outside. So I think that's what gets our defense's attention.
Do you think, though, that you needed to drive home your message for the week? I mean, you mentioned it like right off the bat on Sunday. Was that part of your strategy?
I think win, lose, or draw, Marla. I think week 2 in the NFL season, or I should say this, week 1 of the NFL season gets so much attention from all of us because it's the first game. You circle that. Once that game's over, again, win, lose, or draw, you have to turn your attention to the next opponent. So that's the idea behind the messaging. It's just because this game's important, and they're 1-0 and we're 0-1.
But is there also a little psychological when you want them to stew on the 0-1 thing?
That's up to them.
Kevin, your offensive linemen that are out today, is that just all day-to-day-ish?
Yes.
Having Jedrick Wills is, I know you day-to-day, but is it any...
No update, Jeff. Yeah, I'd say he's day-to-day. We'll see as the week goes.
Is Grant Delpit getting closer? You think he's got chances?
Yeah, I think Grant has a chance. I think we're going to, practice the next couple days with him and see how he responds. And he's worked very, very hard, as you know. It was he's somebody that's trying like crazy in these individual drills, in the meeting room, in special teams. So he's working very hard.
Did you guys send anything to the league about the Ronnie Harrison thing?
I'll no comment that. Yeah.
Kevin, just stand on the side. Odell looks fine. I mean, what's the next step? Where are we in terms of how far away he might be?
Yeah, he's working really hard, Tom, is what I'd tell you. I think you see him working hard. And then, I'm not going to put a timetable on it, but I think the guy's working to get there.
When you don't have contact in practice match, you're not going to take a rebound. So how do you know when a guy is ready for contact?
Yeah, a guy in this particular case or just in general? Yeah, I mean, not a ton of teams. Well, I shouldn't speak for everybody, but everybody doesn't go live like they used to. Some teams rest their starters for an entire preseason. So there are guys that you play and you haven't been tackled to the ground until you do in the game. So I wouldn't say in this particular case that's what's missing. But I think with Odell, we're just going to make sure that we continue to be smart about it, listen to him. He knows his body better than anybody. And then we'll make a decision that's right for him and the team. And then we'll kind of make that decision next week.
I saw some stat about Takk McKinley winning on a bunch of his pass rush reps. How did you think he looks like?
He played really fast. I thought he did a nice job. He was hustling to the ball. So looking forward to another good week from Takk.
Yeah, on that, I mean, I know Mahomes is Mahomes, but could he have done anything differently on the touchdown run from Mahomes where he looks like he has them in his sights?
Well, I think with any player, you always coach him off the tape. So you do tell him what he could have done differently, how you can break down, those type of things. And without taking anything away from their quarterback. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
You guys are up. All right, there's Coach Stefanski at the podium here at the Cross Country Mortgage Campus in Berea. Lingering.
Some lingering. Sounds like a nice little truck going on there. Yeah.
So there you go. There's a lot to dissect there, and it starts obviously with the main topic of the day, which is that Odell Beckham Jr. will not play this week. That decision made today, as opposed to one that was made on game day on Sunday. And you will remember, last week towards the end of the week, I remember even on the coaches show we talked about it, and Coach said, "We'll let you know 90 minutes before kickoff." They're taking that out of the equation. Not ready to go now. Let's make that decision now. Let's prepare for our realities.
We have a game to play.
We have a game to play.
Deal with the reality. And I think he said something at the end that was very interesting, is that Odell knows his body better than anybody else.
Yep.
And so this is, when you come back from an injury like this, there are many components to coming back from that injury. And I think there are both physical healing and strengthening and mental components to coming back from an injury that's that significant and that traumatic, which when you just tear your knee up like that, it is. And Odell is a guy who has been injured in the past, and Odell's a guy who probably has come back maybe too soon. And so I think everybody just wants to be on the same page that this is the time to come back, and we're not going to rush it one way or the other. And so I think that what he did, though, is learned I didn't like figuring this out on game day. Let's figure this out early in the week. Now we know who's playing this week. And when Odell is going to play, I imagine we'll find out at a Wednesday press conference as well. Odell's back this week. And I imagine that will come soon.
Yeah, you would certainly think so. The other thing, obviously, so many of the questions were about Odell Beckham Jr. and his availability, but one certainly I perked up when I heard Grant Delpit has a chance. And that he's worked very, very hard, and that they're going to give it a go with him this week to see if he has a chance to play because, and I know we've closed the door on Kansas City, but if you think about what happened with Ronnie, and I don't think Ronnie should have been thrown out of the game to begin with. But in a circumstance where you are fully healthy in the back end, Ronnie is thrown out, Grant Delpit is in. Now, we haven't seen Grant yet, unfortunately, but we know his talent, and we know what he's capable of. And you want that to be right, and you want him being confident, and I like that. Grant has a chance. That's good stuff.
And I think it's a better chance than Lloyd Christmas had in Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance. I think it's even better than that.
Samsonite.
Let's go. I would love to see
it started with
Grant Delpit get out there. By the way, your hat today is spectacular.
Yeah, they do a nice job down at the Columbus Country
hat.
Club. Yeah, they do a nice job. Good friends down there, and I thought they would get the logo right. I think when you're doing a golf course logo, I was thinking about this the other day. When you do a golf course logo, you either have to have an inanimate object. If you think of Oakmont's got the chipmunk guy there that's on there.
He's quite animate. I love that guy.
I like that guy a lot.
Yeah.
And so you can do that. There are certain places around that'll have like a stag with horns.
Sure, yes.
You love a stag. I think anytime a stag is involved, powerful
a nice
men,
tree, like a
golf,
cypress.
You do a cypress. You can do those type of things. Or you can do the initials, and then then what that comes down to is a choice on font.
Sure.
Do you get the font right?
And they did.
They did.
Yeah, they nailed it there.
They got the
It
font
reminds me of the scene from a movie that I really enjoyed as a young man.
Sure.
Summer School. Do you remember that?
I do,
Kirstie
yes.
Alley, Mark Harmon, and when they are going through and they finally have to take the test at the end.
No, I don't remember Summer School.
Oh.
I thought you were doing what was the one with Rodney Dangerfield when he went back? That's back to school. Back to school. That's the one I thought.
Thornton Mellon.
Thornton Mellon. Yeah. No, I don't know that I remember Summer School.
The Triple Lindy.
Who? Of course.
Summer School. Mark Harmon is the main character. Kirstie Alley is in it as well. You've got the younger people. Courtney Thorne-Smith.
Wow.
Who we just were talking about.
We're talking about in the Norm appearance on Conan.
Yeah. Yeah, she plays like a surfer chick. And it's all the kids who have to be in summer school, and he's kind of a misfit teacher, and he's got to get them to pass this test at the end of the year, and it ends up having great success. But the CCC, one of the scenes when they're going through the test, and they're just like, they're running out of time, and he goes, in the old Scantron days, which, again, dates us quite well.
Yeah, that's right.
You go see. When in doubt, you go see. So this guy's filling out a thing. C
every time.
C. So there's the hat right there. CCC.
Yeah, that was good. All right, lots of fun on the program today. You heard from Coach Stefanski, and you heard the big news coming out of that. You'll hear from some of our players over the course of the next couple of hours. I'm assuming we will hear from Baker Mayfield. Yes, indeed, we will hear from Baker Mayfield. You go one-on-one with Kareem.
That's right, one-on-one with Kareem Hunt.
See, there was so much chaos in the lead-up that you don't even get a chance to see all of the wonderful things that Gibby has put in this.
He's a huge P.
And to think of the adversity that he's facing both in show and out, and yet there is still a giant P right on the other side of that window every day for us, protecting us as only he can. And we're appreciative of you, Gibby.
It's just like the way that Gibbe just keeps marching on. If life were a bracket, he's just marching from the quarters to the semis, right on into the finals.
Clydesdale.
Champion.
Clydesdale. That's right. All right, coming up next.
He's speechless. He's speechless at our compliments.
We'll get you an update on the injury report. Obviously, Odell a big part of that in terms of already officially ruled out. But beyond that, our offensive line a bit of a mash unit as well. We'll go through that and turn the page and start looking ahead to the Houston Texans. All of that coming up. It is a First Friday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily right here on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily. Time for your OBM Hot Topics. OBM, Ohio Business Machine, preferred copier provider, your Cleveland Browns, all the X's and O's. For your office, call 216-485-2000. Visit ohiobusinessmachines.com. And let's have a little reaction to what we have, but even more importantly to that, we talked about Odell, and we certainly talked about the Grant Delpit stuff with caught our attention. But in addition to that, offensive line, buddy, some red flags down there.
Yeah, not expected to practice today. Jack Conklin, Chris Hubbard, and Jedrick Wills. So your top 3 tackles all out. What will they do at tackle today? I don't know. Kevin Stefanski said,
you tell me.
We'll see.
We'll see what it is.
James Hudson would be one. They have a tackle who's on the practice squad. I don't know if Michael Dunn or Blake Hance would kick out. Hance, of course, ended up playing tackle in the game against Kansas City in the playoffs last year,
right,
when you ended up getting through a couple of those tackles. So not ideal for your Wednesday because you're installing your first and second down offense for the most part. The guys that you have are total pros and will be fine, and I would expect Conklin to be able to go. Trotter will be able to go. Hubbard, I would expect to be able to go as well. We just don't know about Jed Wills at this point. So not a huge concern because it's Wednesday. Now, if this repeats itself Thursday and Friday, then concern. Then go ahead. We can hit the panic button a little bit about the tackle situation.
And where are we with Jed at this point? I mean, it's early in the week, but I mean, he was tweeting during the game.
Day to day, so the scans were good.
Yeah.
And so I think there's the potential that he will be able to play.
Yeah. Okay. That would be very, very good. As we mentioned, it is, and we'll get into it when we meet the Texans here in a little bit, but it is time to turn the page to the Texans. Coach Kevin Stefanski using that to his advantage. This was Anthony Walker Jr. from earlier today, his availability on what Coach is doing to get the team ready for Sunday.
Yeah, 1-0 is pretty much everywhere across the board and 0-1 under the Browns. So that's what's the message that's going around, and we're approaching a game like that. We got to get a win.
You're up.
Yeah, look. You understand, and this I talked about this Monday on the show a little bit, and I stand by it. It meant more to us to beat Kansas City than it would have meant for Kansas City to lose the game. We had a lot in that game. It was an emotional game. We came out and played as close to a perfect a half of football up until you don't get points on the final drive as you can play. You don't get the result that you feel like you deserve, the result that you feel like you waited from the last playoff game to get. You don't get that. And so how do you respond to that? And Coach going on the offensive and saying, look, this team coming in here, you can listen to all the stuff you want about them trying to get the number 1 pick and what they've done with their roster. You are what your record says you are, and right now they're 1-0 and we're 0-1. And that will be the focus of this team. And we'll play some Baker stuff for you guys a little bit later in the show. He echoed that as well, that if you're a great team, and I do think this is a very good and could be great team, you come out on Sunday and you look the exact same way against Houston at home as you did against Kansas City on the road.
That's right. And frankly, you have a dominating defensive performance. I think that's offensively you look the same, take care of the football. But yeah, you go out and you play Cleveland Browns football, which is a great brand of football. And you do it for 60 minutes. That's the thing. For 50 minutes, we absolutely took it to the Chiefs. They know it. We know it. Everybody who watched the game knows it. But the Chiefs did it for 60 minutes at their level, which is an elite level. We, for a few minutes, had some falters, and that's why we lost the game. But, yeah, you come right on out. You keep doing what you're doing. You clean up the few things that need to be cleaned up, and you go out there, and you're going to get to 1-1, period.
Yeah, and I think it helps a great deal that we're going to be at First Energy this Sunday for the first time with full house since 2019 in a game that matters. And I think this is one where I think this team doesn't need you, but boy, can you help. Yes. Boy, can you help. Boy, can you set a tone. Boy, can you show the importance of what it means to be a Brown, to do so in this town and what this team means to the city. You get juice from it, man. We've talked to guys in college, we've talked to guys in the pros about the difference is tangible. You can feel it as a player.
Yeah.
And to give that juice, I think the fans have an opportunity to provide an incredible advantage on Sunday.
There's no doubt about it. They certainly do. And listen, if you watch the Peyton Manning, Eli Manning broadcast, be quiet when the Browns are on offense and be loud when the Browns are on defense. And you have an opportunity against a Houston Texans team. Now, the Texans also, even though they won that game, and if you kind of just looked at the box score, they completely dominated it.
Yeah.
They still allowed pressure on over 40% of their dropbacks. So we have an opportunity to get after the quarterback. We have an opportunity to be loud, to create some of those false starts. You get this team behind the sticks and make them one-dimensional as a passing team. We will crush them defensively.
Yeah.
We will.
Yep.
And that's just a fact. And so I think in this game, the crowd is going to be huge, especially they get backed up down near one of the end zones. It was week 2 a year ago, coming off of a loss, backed up near the end zone, and it was only 6,000 at the time. But they were loud. Myles Garrett sack strip fumble, that changes that game on Thursday night. That's what we're looking for here again this weekend, and you'll hear when I talk to Kareem later on in the show, how excited he is to be in front of the crowd and what it brings, what it gives the guys.
Yeah, and I think what you're seeing, and we'll do the scores on Friday, of course, but what you're seeing in the scores, not just for us, but for a lot of teams around the league, is the people in charge of the scores are saying, like, we know who the good teams are.
That's right.
And in the case of us, it's reflected in the scores. And even some teams that have lost are huge favorites or didn't have great performances, like Green Bay is a sizable favorite over Detroit, despite the fact that they got absolutely slumped by New Orleans, while Detroit came back and almost, depending on when you got,
that's right.
Almost got you.
If you were a Sunday scores person, you lost that one.
You did.
But
That's
Friday.
Right. Friday.
Safe. You're safe, pal.
Safe.
Who has bigger beefs? Sean McVay with Jared Goff, which we have documented as large, or Jermichael Finley with Aaron Rodgers? Every time something happens,
he gets a chance. Find a mic.
He comes out of the wood like Jermichael Finley hasn't played. He was good,
right?
But it was like 15 years ago.
It's been
at
a
least,
long time.
I feel like. I mean, I don't know how long Rodgers has been in the league, but it was early in his career.
Yes.
He was the tight end. It was like Bubba Franks, then Jermichael Finley. But, I mean, it's been a long time since the guy's played on the field or been relevant. I'm sure there are plenty of people listening to me like, who's Jermichael Finley?
Correct, yes. And he will find a mic.
And he gets it. Anytime there's a chance to get after Aaron Rodgers.
Give me a podcast.
On him.
Where can I go? I can't wait to get on one. Yeah, he does.
It's crazy.
Seeks it out every single time. He does.
That one feels
quite
personal,
critical.
too.
Yeah, quite critical. Speaking of the Manning broadcast.
Yeah.
So it was a really good. We loved it. We talked about it yesterday. I think it goes without saying. It's another one of those examples, though, of how social is not reality. Because while it was the only thing anyone was talking about on social, when the ratings came out, the actual broadcast dominated, and their numbers were not great. Or certainly not what you would have been led to believe based on social. Now, social has power. I'm not diminishing it because it will grow.
That's what I'm saying. Let's see week 2.
It'll grow.
My dad didn't even know about it.
No, I didn't either. I'd forgot. I mean, I knew about it, but I forgot. But it was because of social that I found it. So it will grow.
Yes.
But you see that a lot where you think that sometimes you're on social, you think that's the reality. It's not necessarily the reality. And the Monday Night Football numbers were significant, and theirs weren't. I do think it will grow, though. Over the next couple
I think
weeks.
it's going to go like this. Eventually, it could cross. They will be inverted. Yeah. It should be. I will say though, it is not mass appeal. It is not for.
It's not for
everyone.
everybody. Now, the one thing I would say too, though, and I was thinking about this when you were talking about watching with the lovely Miss K, and I was watching with the blonde, and she couldn't stand it. She's like, it's too much. It's too much talking. And I said. She was listening early in the game.
Yeah, they settled it down.
I think once you got into the second half, I think it was much better. I think it was something early that Peyton was coming in hot early. He was bouncing around, and then he kind of settled in and had it sorted out a little bit.
How about, though, his facial expressions when he clearly was not happy with a play call? And then at the end, his nerves, he's like eating that football. He was basically gnawing on that football. He was so intensely into the outcome. And I think all he cares about is that the quarterbacks play well.
Agreed. And I don't know. I think if there's a criticism of it, I don't know if they're going to be able to be critical of quarterbacks because I think he just roots for quarterbacks. Period. So I mean, they were critical of some of the stuff, but a lot of times, like even the stuff with Lamar when he was off target, it was no, you need to sit there. You don't keep roll. That type of stuff. So I do think that I do think that'll be interesting. Yeah, he roots for quarterbacks. Yeah. That's definitely what that is.
I just love. I wish you could apply this in. I just can't hear you right.
I love that.
I can't hear you right now.
Sorry.
I'm gonna go call a better play.
Sorry, I can't. No, I can't do it. Can't.
So great.
Yeah. It certainly was. All right, we will meet the Texans coming up next.
We know them.
We know a lot of them. Yeah. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, welcome back into Cleveland Browns Daily. And Beau Bishop here for my friends at EOX Vantage. They've got that local presence in the global footprint, trusted by some of the world's biggest brands. This is a testimonial from EOX Vantage client Tom Darty. He's the Senior Vice President of Specialty Programs at the NIP Group. He said, quote, I have a saying about working with EOX Vantage. If you dream it, they can build it. We generate lots of ideas for them to carry out. They've implemented everything we've come up with. We brainstorm a way to innovate and improve our company. We use EOX Vantage for their infrastructure, coding and programming capabilities, technological expertise, and experience working with those global brands. We're absolutely thrilled with our partnership. Learn more at EOX Vantage by visiting www.eoxvantage.com or call 216. That's right, guys, local company, 216-298-1616. Again, that's 216-298-1616. I told you yesterday, Bootsy at the doctor's office, his experience there. So I had to take him to football practice last night.
Pass a little gas.
Yeah, hilarious. That was the greatest thing ever. So I had to take him to football practice because my wife had something and oldest had something, and Beamsy had – so I coach Beamsy's team. And so I take him to football practice, and he's gone before and was really not pleased at his lack of touches in the practice. Like, I'm actually working with – it's not his team. He doesn't play for it. It was his first practice ever. We've got 16 kids. We play 15 kids. We play 8-man football. You have an hour practice, and you're trying to implement things.
A couple things, right.
Right, a couple of things. And even in games, like, the best players get it once or twice in games, right? So he did get one touch, but that wasn't enough, to the point of just disgust with me that how dare I not give him more touches in the game.
You're freezing him out.
I'm freezing him out. Can't handle it. I said, it's not even your team. I said, look at your brother. He's one of our best players. How many does he get? How many touches did you get? One. That's it. Doesn't care. Does not affect. So yesterday
he should be like thrilled, frankly, that the other kids are like, sure, we'll give your little brother a touch.
He does not operate in a reality that the rest of us operate in.
No, he's the center of his
He's
universe.
the center. It all revolves. So, and I'm aware that I'm complicit in this. So yesterday at practice, the great M-Rock. I haven't seen. She got all sorts of new swag she's got there.
What a legend.
Just looks great. She's an all-timer. So I go. So he get me bringing water. So I go. All right, you got to come to practice. You're not going to play offense. So he was kind of dismayed by that. But then he was like, "Oh, I'm going to play some defense."
Tenacious D.
Tenacious D.
Yeah, I bet.
Fun band too.
Great.
So he had 2 flagpoles and picked off his brother at quarterback. Made an interception. Straight up, primetime high stepped after the pick. Classic.
Is there video of this, please?
I hope. I don't know if someone on the sides was. I was coaching. We were implementing a halfback pass back. So we pitched it to his older brother who was trying to pass it back. Little dude just read it. Chesty.
What was that car ride like?
Well, Chesty as it would be, quite proud.
Who will be more chesty? Bootsy after his pick 6 of his brother, which is pretty big, or 4-1 Gibbe on the over-unders.
We have never had – this is my 4th season doing this program. We have never had Gibbe lead for anything. So we don't know what this could be like. No, not anymore.
I don't know what he's got planned, but I'm sure it's big.
No.
I'm sure it's big.
48 hours.
Yeah, get your parade in while you can.
48 hours from now.
Get your tickets, kids. Get your popcorn ready. Holy cow. Here's the deal. This is what I know now. When Gibby has a chance to play for championships, all you got to do is give him the opportunity fairly.
That's it.
That's it.
And then
give him the opportunity fairly. Yep. Who knows what happens? So,
although
over-unders were good to him.
Listen, if it gets tight, though, if it gets tight going into week 17 or something, or the playoffs when we actually met, I might just send him a text right before, some type of a nefarious text right before the over-unders are picked, and perhaps it could get in his head, perhaps.
Well, or perhaps the other thing that I could do is right before the picks are made, I could decide not to do over-under.
Or we can
just do a different segment altogether.
Just do it on a different day.
Do it on a different day.
He's prepared for it.
He's running around doing press conferences, and we'll just do it when he's not there.
Yeah, when he's unavailable.
When he's unavailable.
Maybe he's when he's with Mo Pedman or something.
Yeah, there you go. Something like that. Would that be fair?
Would you like that?
Sounds right up G alley this week. Right up there.
All right. Let's meet the Texans, boys.
Got any gum?
So good.
Did
you watch all that?
I went back to Got Any Gum because that's my favorite.
So good.
I've enjoyed that for a long time. I've tried that out all over the place.
Yeah. Last night watching this stuff, I've come to the conclusion that he was not only the greatest Weekend Update anchor of all time.
On the Mount Rushmore for sure.
And for sure. To me is like what he did with the OJ stuff when the president of NBC is saying, don't do that. And then he just kept doing it. Remarkable. He was fired off SNL, and then a year later is asked back to host and gives the most incredible monologue you'd ever heard. So all of that.
I'll have to watch that
but
too.
I think he's also, and I don't know that I give proper credit for this, I think he might be, if not the best, as good as any talk show host guest ever. So if you're hosting Letterman, Conan, Daily Show, if he's in there, you gold. You think about the guys who, no matter what, those
Deliver.
people crush.
Yeah.
Crush. And that's what that guy is.
That's fantastic. I'm going to try to see if I can convince Miss K tonight to watch Men at Work.
I think it's streaming on HBO Max.
Well, there you go. Just
I
became
think it
easier.
Is.
It should be.
I've only seen it once, I think. Is it you're talking about Dirty Jobs, right? Isn't it Dirty Jobs, the one with him and Artie Lang? Is that the one you're talking about?
Dirty Work.
Dirty Work. That's
Dirty
what
Work.
Yeah, what did I say? Men at Work?
Men at Work
Yes.
is Emilio Estevez and somebody else, like
Fantastic
Chuck Sheen maybe,
movie.
which is fun.
Yes.
Also
Estevez.
good. No, Dirty Work, yes.
Yeah, Dirty Work. Yeah, him and Artie Lang.
Artie Lang, yeah.
I watched it once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Run it back in honor of the
You're
great.
much better off just watching his late night appearances.
He's unreal. The one with Courtney Thorne-Smith where she's talking about Melrose Place, and he's just...
I can't wait to watch that.
It's unbelievable.
He's
It's
just
9 minutes.
ripping a movie that she's got coming
With
out.
Carrot Top.
Yeah. And he's
The
destroying
thing of the movie
Carrot Top.
was chairman of the board, and Conan, incredulously goes, well, what are you going to do with that, smart guy? And he gives it a beat, and then he goes, is board spelled B-O-R-E-D? Just the moth bit on Conan that I watched this morning. And then the last Letterman where he's just gets emotional is stunning. It's just awesome.
Awesome. I can't wait.
The joke about, you can't even deliver this stuff, but he's talking about the world. The one country I'm worried about is Germany. Germany, you know your histories. It's just great. Find it, watch it.
Well, in the community card seat doesn't like hypocrites. Certainly in certain segments of the population doesn't like the hypocrisy.
No.
Gibbe, did you see the clip of him with Conan on Conan's last night as the host of the Tonight Show?
No.
And he gives him like this congratulations that he'd been sitting on for I think 3 months or 5 months, however long. Conan, remember, he had a very short run.
Leno was not
and
great.
He reads him the congrats card from getting the job that you can now you're like locked in forever and nobody can ever take this from you. And it was oh my God, it's great.
I watched. What did I watch of him the other night? Last night I was watching. He was doing a celebrity roast of somebody.
Bob Saget.
That's it. It is uncomfortable
Oh, boy.
and it is hysterical.
Oh, boy.
Like crying, laughing.
Yeah, there could be lines crossed there, I'm sure.
Burns it to the ground. So good. All right, let's meet the Texans, shall we? They're 1-0.
We know them.
We know a lot of these guys, don't we?
I know that dude.
These guys are familiar.
Spicoli when he walks into his class. I know that dude.
There should be a video tribute for Money Mitch. Am I wrong?
You're
Can we
not
do
wrong.
that? Can we do that? Just maybe you and I buy some time on the big screen.
I would love to do that. and
Like, what would it cost for us to buy a 15-second Money Mitch appreciation on the big screen?
I think we need at least 30 seconds, though, to get through all his greatness. And I want to
Truly, if it was just him eating the Rally's fries for 15 seconds and thank you money, that would do it for me.
I think we have that video.
I think we
archived
do.
somewhere.
Oh, we've got that. I mean, I want it to be that song. What's that? Leave the Memories Alone.
Yeah.
You know, that song that they play at like all
Yeah.
big retirements or
Yeah.
Hall of Fame ceremonies.
Yeah. The great money.
Money Mitch.
As you said,
Money,
as you were
money,
saying,
money.
we know a lot of these guys.
Yeah, we do. 8 by my count of people who have spent time with the Cleveland Browns. Their quarterback, of course, Tyrod Taylor, who we're familiar with. Pharaoh Brown had a nice game in the season opener, scored against the Browns last year in that game here. Vincent Taylor, our defensive tackle, listed as a starter, although I think he may have gotten banged up in the opener. Christian Kirksey listed as a starter who's been here. Terrence Mitchell listed as a starter who's been here. Eric Murray listed as a starter
Oh, sure.
who has been here as well. So we are well represented. The list is long. The list is distinguished of former Browns here making their way in with this Texans team, but none greater. I mean, the two that stand out a cut above, Christian Kirksey and, of course, the incomparable Money Mitch.
Money Mitch.
Kirko with an interception in week 1.
Listen, here's what they are. They're a bunch of pros. Like, what they're doing here actually could end up hurting them because they have enough pros, and Tyrod is far more than capable as a quarterback. They're going to win games that I think if you're the front office, you don't want it to win.
Yeah. Well, they've already done it once.
They've done it once already. So, I mean, they could play themselves into be like a 5 or 6 win team when what you're really hoping for down there is a 2-15, so you can pick number 1 and get the guy that you want.
You're right. Also, Tavier Thomas in the mix there. They won week 1 over the Jacksonville Jaguars 37-21. They put up 449 yards of offense net, 160 on the ground, 289 net through the air. Tyrod Taylor in this game, 21 of 33 for 291 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and also had a run of 40 yards. Brandon Cooks, leading receiver. Brandon Cooks last year, I didn't realize, over 80 catches, over 1,100 yards, almost 15 yards a catch.
Weird guy. Produces everywhere he's gone and yet gets traded or changes teams.
Always
He's
productive.
been on like his 5th or 6th team.
Always productive.
He's always productive.
Yeah, Saints, Pats. Oh, look at everybody. Everybody's fired up. Luminaries left. Luminaries right. Let's go.
Let's go.
Glenn Cook. Started with the Saints,
Yep.
Patriots, Rams, and now the Texans.
Rams, Saints, Patriots, Texans, just the 4?
I think so.
In like 6 years?
Yeah, but he may have gone back and forth once.
He played on was it Rams twice or the
Rams, I think Patriots twice. Maybe.
Patriots twice?
Something.
Yeah.
He's bounced around, yes, for a man of his skills. Here's a little, this is to me in terms of wild fun facts.
Okay. Weird.
He has at least 130 yards, dating back to last year, at least 130 yards receiving in 3 straight games. If he has 130 or more yards against us, he would become only the 2nd player to do that since 1950 to have 130 yards of receiving or more in 4 straight games. The other player to do it, Odell Beckham Jr. in 2014 as a member of the New York Giants.
New Orleans for 3 years, New England for 1, Rams for 2, Houston for 2.
Oh, so no back
just
and
stayed.
forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the
4
4
teams by the time he's 28. I mean, it's pretty remarkable what he's done statistically, and
it is. And listen, there are names that you know on this team.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks, 5 catches, 132 in the opener. Danny Amendola, 5 catches, 34 and a touchdown in the opener. Their running backs, Mark Ingram, 27 carries, 84 yards and a touchdown. You've got Phillip Lindsay. He had 8 carries for 25. David Johnson caught a touchdown but also took some carries. So these are names, as I said, that you know. Pharaoh Brown, 4 for 67, was the 2nd leading receiver in this game. Now, some things that jump out to me about this football team, their offensive line, not great. You've got Laramie Tunsil. He is excellent. Marcus Cannon that they brought in from the New England, also a good tackle, but they gave up a lot of pressure, over 40%, as I said, in that week number 1. And so if you're the Browns, I think this is a team that, again, you want to get after, and you want to try to put yourself in situations where you can really make Tyrod uncomfortable. Titus Howard gave up 4 pressures. That was the most. Tunsil actually gave up 3 in this game. Marcus Cannon, though, the right tackle, not a single pressure allowed in that game. Pretty good. Although he may have gotten, I don't know if he got injured. He played 25. He played 25 pass blocking out of their 37, and then Garon Christian Sr. had to come in for 12 snaps at the end. So I wonder if Marcus Cannon's availability is something to monitor this week.
You know, you go through all of that, and then you say to yourself, Deshaun Watson's on their roster.
Not playing.
He's active. He's just not playing. He's in the 53. He's not playing. That is not resolved.
No.
There's no end in sight for resolution.
Nope.
They are steadfast in the fact that they're not going to trade him unless they get full market value, which according to them and reportedly is a couple of ones and as many as 3 or 4 defensive players is some of the stuff that you're seeing, top-line defensive players allegedly. We've seen it from both sides. Watson's dug in, says he won't play there anymore. You got a court case where depositions can't come until February.
Yep.
What leads you to believe that this gets changed? Why would there be a resolution after the season?
I don't know.
I mean,
I wonder if somebody at some point, Miami, still looking at you, says, we can do some things and our quarterback is holding us back. Let's just bring him in. Let's just do it. Let's roll the dice. He gets to play out this season. Maybe we win a Super Bowl.
He's not ineligible by
That's
the
right.
National Football League.
No, he is.
He is not suspended.
He is quite eligible.
He is not disciplined. You could trade for him now. And by the way, you don't know if he's necessarily going to be disciplined in the future. We have no idea. But right now, he's eligible to play. and you could swing that deal. You're the football team.
Yeah.
You just lost. You know what you have on defense and the weapons you have. Sling them 2-2. Sling them a couple of ones, a couple of players. You're Miami.
Why not?
Do the deal.
Send him Will Fuller back. Hey, you can have him.
Yeah, it is. It's that game against Jacksonville. It's not like I was watching, but I did have the red zone on while the game was going on. It was even far worse than the final score leads you to believe. They raced way out. I want to say like 31 to.
Oh,
they raced way out. I mean, it was just absolute beatdown. And it's an example of just how far that operation in Jacksonville has to go. But also when you have pros, guys, everybody that you just went over, whether you're talking about Cooks and Ingram and Tyrod and the offensive linemen that you mentioned, they're pros. Kirko's a pro. Like, these are guys who've been around a long time. They know how to prepare. They know how to be ready to play week one. Jacksonville doesn't have that.
No. I mean, just look on defense. These are all names that you know. Whitney Merciless, Malik Collins, Zach Cunningham, Christian Kirksey, Kevin Pierre-Lewis, Vernon Hargraves, Terrence Mitchell, the money Mitch, Justin Reed, Eric Murray, Desmond King II. These are names that
you know these people.
You know these people. These people have all played in the NFL. Andre Roberts is their kick returner. He's been a Pro Bowl kick returner for years. You've got, Fairbairn is an excellent kicker, although looks like he might be a little bit banged up right now. They put him on the reserve. He's got a star on there for reserve injured list. Mark Ingram. Like I said, Mark Ingram, David Johnson, Philip Lindsay. Rex Burkhead's on this roster. I mean,
pros.
It's a very interesting roster.
That's what I mean. Like, if you're doing what we think that they're trying to do, this isn't the way you do it.
No, this is a way to go like
6-11.
Yeah, or 5-12.
5-12.
And just
what that is.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jacksonville, did you see Urban? Everyone was making a big deal, but I'm like, it sounds very similar to what Nick Saban said in Miami a decade and a half ago.
But did you see his eyes?
Yeah, I do. Want my heart to see an eyes.
Chuck Pagano's on with McAfee. He goes, anytime you drop your eyes to answer a question, it's concerning, is what he said.
Jeez.
Let's go.
Look
more.
at it.
Martian.
Guarantee you those
some
are
Martian orange.
That's
Let's
orange.
go. Let's go. Swag, a lot of denim up top. He's got a little denim on the top here.
Swag's been dropping
the cream pant again.
A lot of cream pant.
Another cream pant.
He is such a force of personality that I find myself wondering if I need cream pants.
I'm starting to think about it. I wonder if he's thinking cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Is that the statement that's being made?
Feels like it.
You can't wear white after Labor Day, but you can wear cream.
That's right.
I think you can wear white whenever you
I'm
want.
asking for clarity.
Don't tell Mark Davis he can't wear white.
Fantastic jumpsuit.
He's going to a white party. That guy.
That guy.
He's going right to a white party. It's great.
How about how his life has changed? Do you remember this story on him when he was at P.F. Chang's and he was in the van and he was just eating P.F. Chang's every day? Not that there's anything wrong with it. It's great. But like he was in the mix and that was his life. And now he's got was cash broke, had no cash.
Well, they'd get rid of Khalil Mack.
Right. And now
flush.
Loaded, baby.
New stadium will do that.
King of Vegas.
It's
amazing. Really is amazing. All right, top of the hour. We do a little higher, lower. You will hear from Baker in this final hour of the program as well. That is coming up in a couple of minutes. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Second hour here on a First Friday. Beau for my guys at Weather Seal Home Services. Do you have a leaky roof? Loose shingles? Roof discoloration? Don't head into the winter with that bad roof. Call Weather Seal Home Services now and get a beautiful new roof before the season ends. Plus, choose between free gutters or gutter guard. Also get up to 7 years, 0 interest with approved credit. Trust in Weather Seal to do the job right for the best price and the lowest monthly payments. Call 877-351-SEAL or go to weathersealhomeservices.com as we bring in Gibbe for a little better or worse sweet spot. Before we get into that, though, Mark Davis's all-white out jumpsuit, there's several different iconic looks of owners in sports. Who do you think is the if you had to pick an attire, our ownership excluded, of course. If you had to pick an attire that you I like what that guy's rocking every single week.
That
you're for, because the antithesis would be there's a certain amount of bold to pull off what Mark's pulling off. It's a lot of white.
Well, I wouldn't pull up with Mark Davis, but I'm saying back in the day, Al Davis was always a.
Oh my gosh, yes,
was
of
great,
course, especially in the '70s.
Yeah, those
it ain't the
glasses.
'70s anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Jerry's always in his shades of blue, various shades of blue, and I think it's mandated.
He came to mind. Arthur Blank had some nice sport coats that he rocks.
He does have he's got a nice one. I'm a big fan of it used to be the Hef shirt, the blue shirt with the white collar.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Kraft rocks that all the time.
I still have a few of those in the
I got
closet.
a couple of
I
them,
bust
but
them out every now and then.
It's got to be the right circumstance.
What's the right circumstance? What's the wrong circumstance?
Most.
It's just fun. Are you saying because Kraft has now besmirched the shirt? It's
no, I just think you just don't see him as much anymore. I love
that doesn't
him.
mean they're wrong.
No. I used to have when I used to be an Emmy award-winning television personality. Several of those. Multiple.
That's right.
I would have them in various colors. I had a gray one with a white collar. I had a lovely soft purple with a pinstripe and a white collar. It was very strong. But the blue is the cream of the crop.
I had a few years ago. It had to be. It was it may have been 16, 7. One of the years where our season, and it seemed to happen all the time, but our season finished in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I wore a black suit. It was a black shirt.
Okay.
With a white collar.
Jeez.
And I wore like a dark red tie with it.
What are you, Frank Nitti?
It was Jenks loved it.
Unreal.
CR Swag loved it.
Oh my gosh!
I could bust that out again.
I want to see an image of that. I want to see an
shirt.
image of that. I think that's
incredible.
incredible.
I don't know if I'll have to
I feel like you'd work for Capone walking around.
Oh,
like
it was
that.
very
Yeah.
I could bust that out again this year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be afraid.
I want to see that. I love that.
Like if I'm an owner, why do I have to dress up on game day?
Basketball coaches don't anymore.
I don't like why do I have to dress up? If
You
I'm
don't.
an owner, like I'm sitting in my suite.
Who is the most casual of owners other than Mark Davis?
I don't know.
Paul Allen used to be pretty casual, right?
Irsay in a. I feel
No,
like he's a
he's
jean
usually
and sport
suited
coat
up.
guy.
Suited
I feel
up,
like
isn't
this
he?
Jean sport coat guy is playing a guitar probably.
Yeah. Who owns the Rams now? Why am I blanking? Stan Kroenke.
Yeah.
Fantastic mustache on him. I saw him on Sunday.
I refuse to acknowledge him.
Yeah.
Took him
Is
out
he
of St.
wronged
Louis.
you?
I lived in St. Louis. There's a special hatred for that man in St. Louis.
Yeah, and a Missourian who did that to his
his native people.
Not great.
Sad.
Well, to be fair, spot he's got now is a little better.
It was a pretty nice offer he got.
Yeah, pretty good. All right, Gibbe, are we doing better or worse?
Gibbe, sometimes
we have a sponsor.
Gibbe.
What?
Yeah.
Gibbe. Just
How about
sometimes,
that?
no matter what, you get made an offer that you can't refuse.
No matter what.
It happened to Kroenke.
I tell you what,
Happens.
a nice cream suit with a blue shirt, with the French collar, cuffs, and a nice power orange tie is going to go a long ways for you. That'd be a great look on you.
Hold on. So you're saying you want me to wear my tan suit?
Your tan suit,
Yep.
blue
With the
shirt,
white collar.
and a power orange tie.
I had a power orange tie on in Kansas City. Of
course you did.
People
You got to
seem
make sure the
enjoy.
opponent's not in blue, though.
I don't think it matters.
My dress
on
is
dress
not for them.
shirts are exactly right. That's the right answer. Dress shirts, powder blue, always over white, almost
Yes.
all instances.
Yes.
But it doesn't even matter what color they are. The white collar You're in. Will you wear that for me Sunday? That's what I want to do.
I wore my tan suit in Kansas City. I got to get it dry cleaned.
What about that fantastic?
Sweated through it.
What about the fantastic seersucker? You could wear
It's
that.
I got to get it tailored.
You look like you were going to Gatsby's place.
I'm going to get it tailored. I'm going to bust
that
that out
If you
this
wear
year.
the tan seersucker, the blue shirt, white collar, orange power tie, you're going to Gatsby's. That's what I want.
I'm
I
getting
want that look.
it's on the pile to get tailored.
I'm going to go to a game. I'm going to take the boys to a game this year. And when I do,
that's what you want.
That's what I need you in.
The Colonel Sanders on the sideline.
I'm waiting. What about you guys? Have all seen it? I'm waiting for my for the playoffs and on a snowy day to maybe bust out my John Morrison mink.
People aren't ready for that. People aren't ready for that.
That's.
Yeah,
I can't even get my
home
head.
playoff game.
I will deny knowing anything of it in advance.
Oh,
the
God,
powers
yeah,
that
you
be are
don't
like,
want to know.
Home playoff game. Snow falling.
When you strutted in here that day in that thing, I'd never seen anything like it in my life. I don't even know how to wrap my head around it.
It's beautiful. It's indescribably beautiful.
It is. Yeah.
And it grants me entrance to the Palace of Wisdom. So I got that going for me,
which is very nice.
Which is quite nice.
All right.
We got
higher or lower. We have
We're
a
brought
sponsor.
to you. We're brought to you.
Brought to you
by our great friends at the Ohio Lottery.
Let's go.
Let's go indeed. All right. You like that?
Yeah. People love better or worse.
We've been trying to get him on for a while. Happy to have him on board. And
welcome. The water is warm.
Yes.
Well, come on in. It turns out that the reason they got on board was because you had finally admitted defeat and that this was indeed better or worse. That now we're in. Higher or lower? Better or worse? Did you say sweet spot? We're in.
We're in.
Let's go. Partnership.
Well,
Gibby,
the good news is they were
you're
sold
welcome.
at higher or lower. So here we go with that. Hit the music and let's get going, Nick Paulus.
Higher or lower?
This is compliments of ESPN's NFL Nation, their Week 2 power rankings. The Browns in at number 6. Higher, lower, or just right? Bishop, I'll start with you today.
I have to get some context to this. I want to know who they have us behind. All right, so they have Kansas City 1.
Yes.
Tampa Bay 2. Seattle 3. I would have had the Rams 3. Rams 4. Wait. Roethlisberger plays the worst game of any quarterback in Week 1. They go to Buffalo and win at their place,
And they're still
Buffalo's
number 5.
ahead of us?
Yeah.
Erroneous.
How are they ahead of the Steelers right now? Honestly?
Well, they shouldn't be. That game actually happened, and Pittsburgh beat them.
Yeah.
So they can't be ahead of us. We are better than the 6th best team. Therefore, we should be ranked lower, in the case of your game, higher than where we are. Where the heck's Arizona?
Keep going.
Oh, God.
We'll get to all those,
boy.
kids.
Oh, boy. They did not. You blew it, boy.
You blew it.
Zegura.
Yes. Yes.
You're all in agreement? Is that what the yes is? I'm just in agreement.
That where we are?
Yeah.
I'd put us ahead of the Bills. I think we're top 5.
All right.
So, no, we are better than number 6, but we need to go out there and get some wins to back that up.
Next.
Higher or lower?
Well, you just mentioned it. I don't think either one of you agree with the Seahawks at number 3, so we'll just keep right on moving.
Look, they're fine. It's an impressive win that they had.
Is it?
Yeah.
What team were we fading more than any other in the preseason?
I know we faded him, but a lot of it had to do with Wentz.
Who's still there?
It was at Indy, and Indy's got a decent squad. I mean, if they had the right quarterback situation, they'd be a problem. They don't, but they whipped them. I mean, they did whip them.
I believe the scores would say we expected a whipping.
We did. I don't think the scores thought that, though,
is
right?
most of that having to do with the quarterback play?
Well,
as to why
it is the most important position.
It's important
in all professional
would
sports.
Would you have them below the Rams?
Who?
Seattle.
Yeah,
you would.
I think right now the Rams beat them. Jalen Ramsey.
I watched more of the Rams than I did the Seahawks,
Same.
so I can't be too boisterous about Seattle one way or another. That was a red zone situation. I spent all my time on the Rams on Sunday night. I enjoyed the game.
And enjoyed it.
And their defense is just so physical and so chesty. I don't know if Seattle can match that, but I haven't got to look at Seattle yet the way that I did LA.
I would say this. Over the last, 3 years, there's not a better team in the league that does what they do in terms of going across the country and winning football games.
Seattle.
Is this backed by statistical fact, Gibby?
I think it is. I want to say they've won their last 11 or something like that going east.
Guess the stats.
4-1. Watch yourself. Watch yourself.
Boy.
Yep.
Gosh,
Dodger.
man, haymakers coming in. Gotta be on the lookout.
Ladies and
I
gentlemen.
need this mirror put in. I need to have eyes on him, Bo. I'm flying blind.
Ladies and gentlemen, now that he's gotten out of his car, let him hear you.
Give it.
Next.
Higher or lower?
All right, after the Browns at 6, the 49ers fluke win has them at number 7. At number 8, the Pukers come in at 1-0 after beating Buffalo. Higher, lower, or just right? Zegura.
It feels about right, honestly. It feels like the sweet spot to me. They were very impressive. Melvin Ingram, along with T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, that's a problem. There's still a problem up front.
Defensively, they're a problem. Ben was bad.
He's bad, but
he was bad.
That defense was able to. Ben was bad.
He was so bad. I mean, it was.
He couldn't throw a check down to
has
Najee Harris. He couldn't throw to from
Najee
me to
Harris
you.
in 2 weeks. Like Najee was unbelievable. He pass blocked perfectly. He would release. He would run that little.
Yeah, and be wide open.
My God, just put it on the kid's numbers. It's 6 yards, all over. One time, Ben. One time.
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. No.
Your first mistake is relying on Big Ben.
I guess that's where we're at. I mean, he was bad. He was.
You know
really
what? I'm going to change my mind, but it's a spoiler alert because we're getting in. Like the overreaction to some of these, I think, is funny. Unless it truly is a sabotage. I don't think it is a sabotage.
Pittsburgh has to be ranked ahead of Buffalo. They went
They
to
should
Buffalo and won.
They should be.
The end.
And I think that I feel like they are a better football team after 1 week than Baltimore, and they are correctly ranked ahead of Baltimore.
Yeah.
Next.
Higher or lower?
Saints at number 9. Big win for Jameis. At number 10, the 0-1 Baltimore Ravens. Beau Bishop. Higher, lower, or just right?
Well, I think it's lower. I think this is all on reputation. I think they have big problems at tackle. I think they have big problems at secondary. The Marcus Peters injury.
It's massive.
It's just an incredible injury.
Crushing.
You think about who they've had with Judon and all the guys they've had through the years on the defensive line that aren't there anymore.
Yes.
Like, if you're going to go 0, then the guys in the original part, the first 4, have got to be big-time dudes. The corners got to be big-time dudes. They're not that anymore. They're not. And if they play that way against a team that's a little more competent than that Vegas team, slump city, baby.
Yeah, that's a team right now where I don't think it's an overreaction to be a little concerned. I think that there's
Lamar
some
was running
concern
for his
there.
life. I mean, the pocket was collapsing on him. And you think about our D-line, Pittsburgh's.
Yeah, Max Crosby was wrecking shop.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that they should be worse.
How are they ahead of Arizona?
By the way,
did you watch did anybody watch the games?
How are the Raiders at 19? If they're at 10, how are the Raiders at 19?
Can't be.
I don't even think the Raiders played that well and tried to give the game away multiple times and still won.
Next.
Higher or lower?
Up next, the Packers at number 11, the biggest drop of the week, 4 to number 11 in the ESPN NFL Nation Power Poll. Higher, lower, or just right? Bishop, you want to go first there? Kind of itching there.
If it's sabotage.
Right.
If it's sabotage. Have we ever seen have you ever seen sabotage like this? There's one instance that I can think of sabotage of a professional athlete of this ilk. Only one time.
I can't even think of it.
You got one? Can you think of one? Professional athletes, if it's sabotage, which I don't think it is. I think it's just,
Like you're talking about
team on the road.
throwing it on purpose.
I'm saying not necessarily throwing it, but like, you know what? Not today. I don't like you guys. I don't like what you did. I don't think I'm going to try today.
LeBron standing in the corner against the Celtics.
That's one, and there's one more.
Bill Buckner. Hot take. Buckner was mad. That's what happened there.
Or the 86 Mets that debuted last night. They're the 85 Bears, right? They're baseball's 85 Bears.
Yeah.
Like there's this one magical team that everybody loves, that's misfit toys, but they were put it together one time.
The Cuz, by the way, an executive producer of that.
Yeah, I saw that. Kobe Bryant. The year he averaged 35 a game, he scored 81. Was trying to force his way out of L.A., was trying to force trades.
Is that when he didn't shoot?
They play Phoenix. It's a best of 5 in those days. They're up 2. Someone may have had something else going on it. Had a good feeling. They're up 2-0 in the series. Win the first 2 games in Phoenix. Game 5, he would just stand at half court and pass the ball off. Wouldn't shoot.
Why would they just take him off the court?
Because he's Kobe. What are you going to do? They can, oh, are you going to try? You going to go? Wouldn't. Just kept. Here. Let's see. You want Smush Parker? Fine. Here's what's in the playoffs. He did that. LeBron did it here too. Those are the only 2 I could think of.
And y'all question why I call him LaQuit.
Well, he did give you a
He
championship.
came back and won championship.
Then he left again.
He made it right.
Okay.
He made it right.
He made it right.
Made it right.
Not so much.
Okay. The Packers must be ranked in the top 8, or they must be ranked 32nd. If it's a sabotage, 32nd. Otherwise, they should be in the top 8. So this ranking is absurd to me. Like, they're not a different football team. Aaron Rodgers had an off day. If it's sabotage, he will have another similar game. If it is not sabotage.
If it's sabotage, we've never seen anything like
nothing. If it's not sabotage, he is going to have he's going to throw for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. Like, just absolutely go bonkers this week.
Next.
Higher or lower?
All right, we're going to jump down the rankings here. 12 the Cardinals, 13 Cowboys, 14 Chargers, 15 Dolphins, 16 Colts, 17 Patriots, 18 Tennessee Titans, 0-1. Higher, lower, or just right, Zegura?
They're a front-running team. They can look terrible if they get out of their game script. If they can look great when they're in it. New offensive coordinator, new pieces in Julio Jones. Your tight ends are gone. I'm going to give them a few weeks to gel before I've completely buried them. I still think they're the favorites to win their division. And so I think that I think they are better than this says. But I also think the Denver Broncos, by the way, at 20, Theodore with that defense, they are better.
Yeah, the Judy thing is going to be a problem for them. He was off to a great start before the injury. You hit it on Tennessee. Tennessee can beat anybody.
Yeah.
They just have to beat them in a very specific way, which is the tricky part. But they were chasing. They can't chase. They can't do it.
It's
just not in the cards for them. I mean, we did it to them last year.
They are very similar to Baltimore.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
They can win in a very specific way. Now, the Ravens did come here and beat us in a shootout last year. That did happen, but that was a better defense. And I think much like Tennessee, I don't think their defense is their strong suit anymore. And so it's required that they just get out to that fast start, and then they can start to try and impose their will on you. And I even think that, frankly, Tennessee's better prepared to do that than Baltimore. Now, I think Latavius Murray was a nice signing. Tyson Williams
he was okay.
Looked spry.
Fine.
It's not Dobbins and Gus Edwards, though. It just isn't.
No.
And Lamar.
There's nobody for Peters. There's just no.
And we said that last week. Their system is going to be just like you can pop Elijah Mitchell into the Niners system because he's a good zone runner, and he's going to be very successful there. And you put a running back with some skills, they're going to be successful in that offense. Same is going to be true in Baltimore. They can't replace Marcus Peters. He's irreplaceable.
Final thing on this Power Poll Week 2 edition. Jacksonville ranked 32nd. Who would you have at number 31?
Giants. Or
Your
Falcons.
candidates were
the gutless Falcons or the Giants? Or
Jets, Lions,
Lions
Giants,
showed heart.
Falcons.
Lions showed heart. Jets showed heart. They had a little moxie. They
Would
kept
you
fighting.
put the Bears at 31?
No way. No, I would have my candidates would be the Giants and the gutless Falcons. Those would be the two teams that I would say. I mean, the Falcons didn't even have the ball, and the Giants. Those would be my candidates for 31.
What about the Jets?
No, they showed guts against Carolina. They almost covered. They came almost all the way back. The kid kept slinging it. They're bad, and the Becton loss is huge for them. They're not good. I'm not pretending they're good. But they did rally. They showed some heart. There are teams that are gutless. The Falcons are gutless. The Giants are gutless. The Lions showed heart.
Lions had a lot of heart.
A lot of heart. Kept fighting behind Goff. Who wronged McVay in a way we'll never know.
Never know. Well, I want the 30 for 30 on that.
We may know at some point.
Get the cuz to
Who do you got? Who's worse? Giants or Falcons? Those are your two candidates.
I'd put the Giants.
The Giants.
Daniel Jones just sucks. I mean, he's awful.
I agree. He does.
Like that they're not good.
Yeah.
And whoever is going to inherit that mess a year from now, because let's be honest, that's getting blown up.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that we had the Bengals on here. I know we're up against it, but we had the Bengals on here on this list. And if you didn't watch the game and you just look statistically, you would say, boy, that looks great. Burrow really only threw like one completion down the field. It was a lot of check down Charlie stuff. So
the one bomb to Chase?
Yeah, they ran it a lot. He had the one bomb to Chase, but almost everything else. That was probably by design. They're not quite, and it's expected, they're not quite what I think they'll be in 6 or 8 weeks right now.
Are the Vikings?
They're terrible.
Trash?
Zimmer's going to get fired.
Yeah. That's
it's run its course.
They'll be in the bottom 4 before long.
Yeah, it's run its course. And by the way, it all worked. They won playoff games, won divisions.
How long was he there?
Yeah, he was there a long time.
A heck of a run.
It was a good run. It worked with Cousins. Like, they were better than they were without him. Went to New Orleans and won. You're not entitled to Super Bowls.
No, they were a team of consequence.
Team of consequence. That's all you can hope for. Football isn't football without friends. Hey, watching the Browns alone means no one's going to hear your amazing in-game analysis. The same is true with gambling. Keep things social. Never gamble alone. It's just one of the helpful, responsible gambling tips you'll find at keepitfunohio.com. Good job out of you, Gibby, as always.
Yes.
All right, coming up
Tremendous.
next, you will hear from 6. Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN Cleveland. When you're dedicated to bring the best value to your customers, you got to do a little work. And at Northeast Factory Direct, they're founded on the principle that quality shouldn't have to cost you a ton. They prove it every single day. They keep the overhead low. They buy by the truckload, pass the savings on to you, the customer. During Northeast Factory Direct's garage sale, you can find queen pillow top mattresses starting at just $3.99. Unbelievable. Double-sided pillow tops, $6.99. And when you buy that queen prestige mattress for $6.99 or king prestige mattress for $70.99, you are going to get a bundle of free stuff. A set of sheets, 2 pillows, mattress protector. Check them out. West 140th Street. Giving it away, boys. Garage sale time.
Come on.
Check them out. West 140th Street in Cleveland, Lakeland Boulevard at Euclid, Freeway Drive in Macedonia, or shop them online anytime at northeastfactorydirect.com. It is a First Friday, and that means Six speaks. Here was his message to the team after the loss.
You know, I think
You're down.
there's a fine line of walking, of beating yourself up about it, and then realizing there's 16 more. And I think we should beat ourselves up about it because, we feel like we should have won that game, but there is 16 more. So it's the mentality of, hey, we got to go up the next week and go do our job, but this one should sting. This one should sting, and you need to learn from it because we had that game and we need to, close it out.
You're up.
Yeah, pretty straightforward message.
We know we did not handle our business to the best of our ability, and that cost us this game. We have a new opportunity on Sunday to go handle our business. We have 16 more in the regular season, and we hope to have even more than that come the postseason.
Yeah.
Okay, let's learn from it. Let's clean it up. Let's go.
Yep, pretty straightforward. Here are Baker's thoughts on playing in big games after the loss.
We played a good game against a great team on the road. We had to play a great game against a great team on the road. So I think it's a good lesson for us as long as we learn from it. So as long as we handle it, it'll be a blessing in disguise that it happened in week 1 rather than later on down the road.
You're up.
That's what we said Monday on the show.
Yeah, maybe listening.
It's not hard. Yeah, like when you play a great team at their place, you got to play great. And we had 3 things happen that when these things happen, you've done a great job of bringing this to the attention too. The drive right before half, you need to take advantage of that. It's really 4 things. If you do those 4 things, you win by a couple of scores.
Right.
Right? Because they didn't have any of that.
Well, even let's say that drive at the end of the first half where you go first and 10 at their 36 following the great catch by the Chief, and you get a field goal there.
25-10 at the break.
25-10 feels pretty good. All things going on, instead of it being 33-29, it's what, 33-32?
Correct.
They would have gone for 2 just the same because going for 1 didn't help them there.
Right.
Either way, it would have kept it. It wouldn't have helped them. So they go for 2. They don't get it. 33-32. That maybe changes your play calls once you get to midfield.
Of course it does.
You don't need to go to touchdown now inside 2 minutes. You need to get yourself down there as close as you can for a nice chip shot field goal to win the game. So, yeah, all of those little things added up. I thought you did play. You played a very good football game, but great would have involved, maybe just taking a couple of those things away. We went through the keys, my keys to victory. Pressure Mahomes over 30%. Check. You did that. You did not win the turnover battle. Yeah. And that one supersedes everything else. When you lose the turnover battle by the reality is it was -3.
Yeah.
It'll show up in the score as -2 because that counts as a 4th down play and just a turnover on downs. You're not going to beat a team like the Kansas City Chiefs, but you were excellent in terms of everything that you need to do. Oh, and the other thing I had on there was 7s, not 3s. We were 4 for 4 in the red zone.
Yeah.
4 for 4.
Follow the keys.
Yeah, but the turnover one is...
Turnover's the big. That's
unfortunately, it can override multiple other keys.
Yes, it can. Especially, when it's that distinctive an advantage. Here was Baker on Jarvis's touchdown run.
That's a grown man run. I mean, that's just determination, wanting it more than the other guys, and you can tell, and that fires guys up. And so, that's what I told him is when he plays like that, it elevates everybody else around us.
You're up.
We're gonna break that play down in Browns Live. Myself and Joe Thomas. We'll go when we go into our play breakdown.
When is this?
That will be on Thursday night, and then it'll re-air over the course of the weekend as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
I'll set the DVR.
Set your DVR Thursday night.
Time?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
We're trying some new things, trying to get them figured out. So
search
smart. Thank you for that. It'll be on the Browns YouTube channel. So
that's
you'll know
perfect.
that
That's
day
perfect. By the way, what a treat to turn on Building the Browns over the weekend and see you leading it off right out of the gates, to see your handsome mug leading it off out of the gates. What a real treat that was. And a little voice cameo for Uncle Beau. Little voice cameo in there like that.
How about that?
Little voice cameo for the boy. Thanks,
Not
boys.
the cameo you can purchase. That one's a freebie.
Keep them coming. I'm having a great time with those. I've had a few in the season, which is super fun.
Yeah.
People are very excited. That's right. That's right.
Beau, he was doing a cameo in here one day and was so animated. A member of the PR staff came in to make sure he was okay and not.
Oh, an actual cameo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where the people do. Listen. It's been a long time. I haven't seen you do one of those because we haven't been in the we weren't in the studio together for low 80 weeks.
Well, guess what? I got one in the hopper. I could do a 3:00 performance for you today.
Just get it done. Well, we'll put it on the DVR. So you're going to break that play down?
Yeah, and what's
fun.
incredible about that play is from the pre-snap.
Scarlett with his iced coffee.
It's so great. Sauntering. Just what a saunter, too.
That was like a 16-ounce or 22-ounce coffee.
No, there's quite a bit of caffeine there for the
Go
afternoon.
ahead.
You need the afternoon surge.
Yep.
The Browns are actually outflanked by the Chiefs.
I love
and they have
that term.
so many more defenders where we knew that play was going. We got very fortunate on the motion. First of all, the tight ends, Harris and Brian Ossuper, did a tremendous job kicking out. But when we brought Jarvis in that jet motion, they actually expanded and created the running lane.
Okay.
Batonio does a great job to get out. Sorensen doesn't realize that Jarvis has the ball. Otherwise, he would have just fit that hole, and instead he's drifting out with the tight ends. Jed does a good job of getting Chris Jones to the inside, and then Jarvis makes it happen. I mean, he makes the move, gets in there, and then he's like a whirling dervish.
He really is.
And he's just spinning around right into that end zone. Grown man run, awesome stuff. And you know, the Hoff, as the Hoff would say, like, he goes, that the boys love stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that really gets people excited.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What a competitor. Heart and soul of this team. God, I love that guy.
Love that guy. Here's Malik Jackson on Malik McDowell taking advantage of the opportunity.
Came in, really didn't know nothing, just green, and has taken the starting spot, really physical, knows what he's doing, understanding plays now. You know, came in, he was at class 101, now he's at class 404, so he's grown fast, and he's really taking it by the horns.
You're up. I love that. Class 404.
Listen,
that's good.
The Maliks.
Going to be a problem.
They are a problem, and it's great.
Yep.
I love it. And their conditioning is going to improve. That's the thing. Malik McDowell hasn't played a football game since 2017.
Well, 2016 season,
yeah.
Whether he played whatever bowl game they played in at Michigan State in 2016, but it's it's been a long time. Here's Nick Chubb on the Texans.
I see a lot of guys who play here, for one. So that's that, and I see, a group of guys who want to win, who play hard, who play together, and despite things that have been said about them, they're ignoring the noise, and they're going out there and they're playing their butts off. So I see a team that's excited to play and excited to prove themselves.
You're up. Favorite things, and I know we have Kareem Hunt coming up here in a second with you, but one of my favorite things of the Building the Browns, so they had Demetric Felton mic'd.
In Atlanta.
Yeah. And the just the relationship of Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, I just can't help but laugh because I feel like Kareem just wants to make him laugh and just constantly chirps. And every once in a while, like he get a little bit out of Nick and a little bit goes a million miles with Kareem. Like he gets so much satisfaction if he can just break him a little out as well because Nick didn't say anything.
Nothing. I feel like it's like that, the cartoon where you had the big bulldog.
Yeah,
Spike. Yes. Kareem's like a little psych. Like, come on, get him going.
All jacked,
all jacked up. Give me something. Come on,
just a little bit.
Give me a little taste.
And then if he gets a little reaction out of it, it's just an enormous win. It's an absolutely enormous.
You should start doing this whenever he gets.
Anytime he gets a reaction, yeah. Injuries during childbirth require experienced counsel. Call all the lawyers at Elk & Elk for clear answers to what happened during your child's birth. Elk & Elk, proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO today. Z goes one-on-one with Kareem coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Beau here for my friends at Raising Cane's. Raising Cane's presents the other rules of football. Rule 1, serving cooked-to-order chicken finger meals always earns you extra points. Rule 2, no, there's no penalty for excessive cane sauce dipping. Raising Cane's is ready to tackle all your chicken finger game day needs when it comes to winning game day. Cane's rules, one love, and a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks. Here is Z one-on-one with Kareem.
Kareem, now
you're down 8 minutes.
Go the way you guys wanted on Sunday in Kansas City, but a lot of bright spots on this offense, especially in that ground game. When you went back and watched the film, what did you like about your offensive performance?
Well, I liked how we came out and played for one another. You know, we came out and started fast, you know, and that's what we got to do against great teams, and we got to be in sync. So I like that everybody came out and played physical and was ready to go.
How much joy do you take out of the way that you finish your runs? Because I think it's apparent to everybody who watches you play the game that you leave it all out there every single carry and you punish people. Your touchdown seemed very similar. I don't know if it was the exact same play, but very similar to the first touchdown in Pittsburgh a year ago in that wild card round where you carried the linebacker 5 yards, kind of moving left, figuring out when you're going to hit the ground, put your foot in the ground and get into the end zone. But is that something that you just take a lot of pride in?
Yeah, I take a lot of pride in that, man, and it's ultimately because I'm a competitor, don't like, you know, losing, and I always want to, you know, fall forward for extra yards. So if I feel like if one guy makes me go backwards, or if I lose yards by getting hit, I don't like that. I'd rather fall on my stomach than, you know, on my back.
Well, you certainly do it very well, and often it's the people trying to tackle you end up on their backs. You score that touchdown, you go give an arrowhead leap. You've done that before in the past. They were not as receptive as I would have thought maybe they would be, but this week, if you get in there, or maybe a first energy, a little dog pound leap.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I know they'll be welcoming when I get in there, so I'm kind of excited for that. I know we got a great fan base, and I'm excited to see how loud to get out there, you know, for us.
How excited are you to be in front of the fans? I know what obviously this city means to you, but to be back, you know, 2019, you were there for that second half of that season, and that's the last time the stadium was full. How excited are you to be kind of in front of the Cleveland fans again with First Energy Stadium rocking, knowing, you know, what this team is capable of?
I'm very excited, man. You know, I feel like the fans are going to, you know, fill the stadium up for sure, and it's going to be loud, but on our side. So I'm so excited. Like you said, it's been since 2019, and that's a long time ago. We've grown as a team, you know, since
a lot.
then.
Yeah, you most certainly have. And you guys have, you know, the most dynamic running backfield in the National Football League. I think that goes without saying. You know, I know you and Nick, very different in terms of your expressiveness, but a great brotherhood there. I know how much that had to hurt him to put the ball on the ground. It's something that doesn't happen very often. How's he doing and you know, bouncing back? And what did it say when the coaches said, hey, we're going right back to you after that?
You know, he's doing fine, and Nick's a great back. You know, it's something he doesn't even need to worry about. I mean, I guess it was the first game. I mean, a little hiccup. Now you're gonna be, you know, a little bit more cautious with it. So, you know, we don't make that mistake again. But other than that, man, he's a great back. You got to just move on from it. You know, nobody's perfect, so you know, you got to just come out there and learn from it, and you know, try not to do it again.
I think everybody certainly listening to this program and in this area has the utmost confidence in giving the ball to either Nick Chubb or to you whenever it matters for this team. I want to take you back to when the Chiefs punted it down to the 1 yard line at the end of the first half. And that was a situation where it looked like, okay, you know, they're looking to get a 3 and out, right? Get the ball back and then try to score, get it to start the second half. You in 2 runs were basically out to the 30-yard line. And they knew you guys were running it. You knew you were running it. And you did it anyway. Was that kind of a confidence builder for this offensive line and for you guys? I know you guys have confidence. You guys have been very successful running ball, but that was a little bit of a statement, wasn't it?
Yeah, most definitely. And everybody in the world knew we were going to run the ball there. So, you know, I pretty much told the offensive line, you know, I'm going to need you guys to give me a little bit of push, and I'm going to hit it as hard as I can, man. I'm going to get us out of here.
And you did that. You did that.
Yeah.
And there was a little emotion, especially after that second one where you almost broke it.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to break it, man. I'm a competitor. I just want to win every game. And I knew like that, a great team like that, we can't go 3 and out and, you know, give them back the ball and with such great field position.
So you turn the page now to the Houston Texans. This is a team you saw a very different version of this team, obviously, that you saw on one of those crazy weather days a year ago at First Energy Stadium. It'll be much nicer conditions, hopefully, this Sunday. But in that one, you and Nick both got 19 carries. You and Nick both ran for more than 100 yards. And so I realize it's a different Texans team, different coaching staff, some new personnel, certainly on the defensive side of the ball. But what can you guys take away from that tape and the success that you guys had really running the football on that crazy day?
Honestly, it was a crazy day. Running the football was going to be the key to winning that game on both sides. So honestly, we're just going to take away some of the positives we did that game and maybe hopefully, make it better and throw it in there again and everybody come out and, play physical and just, pound the rock like we do.
You've been on, obviously, we started your career in Kansas City, an electric offense. I'd say right now this is an electric offense. You're probably uniquely qualified to talk about what it's like to be on an offense that can just be that explosive. We averaged 6 yards a rush, over 10 yards a pass, 8.2 yards per offensive play in week 1. That was the top mark in the entire National Football League. And I feel like, do you feel like you guys are just scratching the surface with this offense?
Yeah, most definitely. And I feel like we got, a really good chance to, have probably one of the best, if not the best offense in the league. And by doing that, we just got to come out and, execute every play and everybody do their jobs and we should be fine. It'll take care of itself.
They often say like corners need to have a short-term memory, but a football team needs to as well. I know how emotional you were when I talked with you right after the game. That one stung. How do you guys turn the page? How quickly do you turn the page and say, that's done now. We're on to the Texans, and we got to just go out there and do what we know we're capable of doing?
We turn the page by you got to just think about what could happen. I mean, that wasn't like we got put out the playoffs right there. So
right, it's week 1. So 16 more. 16
more games. So that's what we got to think about. And if we want to do something big, we got to win a lot more games. Like win these games coming up and put ourselves in a position to go to the playoffs, and then that's when it really matters again. So.
And I was, standing outside that tunnel, and both the Chiefs players and the Browns players were kind of coming out of that same tunnel after the game was over. And there seemed to be a lot of sentiment from their players that, yeah, we got a little lucky today. That worked out for us, but we know we're going to see you guys again. I know you've talked to probably a lot of guys on that team. What was that kind of the conversations?
Yeah, most definitely. And those guys know we're not the same old Browns, and it's going to be a battle every time we come see them. So that's what we'll do. And I feel like for any team, coming up, it's going to be, a battle for every team that we face.
It is. We're excited to see you get back on the field this Sunday, First Energy Stadium. Last one, Kareem. Anything you want to say to the fans who are going to get to be there and finally pack this house to see this?
30.
Only thing I would say is just everybody come with their screaming outdoor voices and, be ready to, see hopefully a Browns victory.
That's right. Listen, be loud when they've got the ball, but I don't know if you watch the Manning brothers on that Monday Night Football. Be quiet when the Browns have the ball. Everybody's got to remember,
right.
You got to be loud at the right times.
Right. We need you to be our extra defender.
That's right. Kareem, thanks so much for the time. Looking forward to seeing you guys get back out there on the field and have a successful Sunday.
All right. Thank you.
What's the play on us with Madden where he's in the gun next to the quarterback and it's an inside handoff and he comes across and the guard here comes across and pulls
out. Yeah,
pulls out.
It's like a power. Sometimes they call it a sweep out of those. It's an outside sweep from a shotgun.
But it's not all the way out. It cuts in a little bit.
Off tackle.
Yeah, I wish I could remember the name of it. I'll find it tonight. It's 7 yards.
Do they call it power?
No, I don't think so. No, it's a specific name to it. I'll find it tonight and I'll send it to you.
HB sweep, I believe.
I don't think sweep's in it. I think it's the guard pulls. Because Teller pulls
from right to left.
I run it left all the time. Teller pulls and just mows, and then you just run like between Joel and Jed.
Where are the receivers?
I want to say it's a 3-wide set.
Okay.
Or maybe a tight end. No, I think it's a 3-wide.
From shotgun, there's usually inside zone, draw.
It's not inside zone.
I know it's not. So I'm just going through the plays for man. Inside zone, draw, power can come out of a shotgun.
It is a power is what it is, but that's not what it's called in it.
Is it an RPO?
No. I'll think of it. Right. I'll think of it. And there's still so much more to come. So
you're lucky
much. You may get an answer.
You might.
You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Be sure to catch the Browns preview show tonight at 7, University Hospital's Cleveland Browns Radio Network. Joel Bitonio joins the boys.
Oh,
the
there
voice
he
of
is.
the Browns as well. We were just talking about
Just
Joel.
talking about Joel.
Where was he rated?
He was the #1 offensive lineman in the league, nay, the world. You're welcome. #1 graded lineman. Following the Wyatt Teller plan.
Yeah. I like it.
I do like it.
I like it.
A fine man.
Thorough.
Same draft class as Kirko.
1 minute.
Yeah.
2014.
Yep. I saw, it was interesting seeing, of course, Joel, Nevada guy, and why am I blanking on it? Austin Corbett starting for the Rams.
Yeah.
Over the weekend. Nevada guy.
Former
as well.
Brown. Yeah.
Former Brown. Yeah, as well. Absolutely. Look, this is going to be a fun game. Sunday. Home opener.
Let's go.
All of you back.
We got
Gonna
2
be
more
fun.
shows to get through. We got a lot
I
to
know,
do.
I know, but we'll do
It's
our
not
offense,
over.
their defense.
This
all
is
the
first
stuff.
Friday, not
but I just
actual
feel like we're
Friday.
actually turning the page.
We have turned the page.
We've turned it. And
we're on to
now
the Texans.
It feels like we're really
Lots of people to come. The general will join.
Oh, boy.
Can I interest you in some Greg
Do you
Newsome?
remember how, he was pretty, fun. By the way, had himself a bit of a debut, a dandy debut, if you will.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know who wasn't interested in Greg Newsome? The Chiefs.
Not
interested in